Hey guys, cheers. It's Jen from You So Much. I know that it's just barely 5 o'clock. At least it's barely 5 o'clock my time. But I thought I need a little energy boost to get me through the evening. So I'm excited to be here and just chilling and relaxing with you all. One of my favorite things to have as a little extra boost of energy is some chocolate and wine together. And you know, of course, I'm having some chocolate with this wine, people. So this is one of my favorites. I've talked about this a couple times, but I just thought I'd highlight it again. It's the Theo Coconut Turmeric Chocolate Clusters. I'm telling you, people, they're so good. And here, I'm just going to show them to you. They're like the tiniest little of tiny chocolate, just enough to kind of get you boosted. Not like you even feel like you're cheating, and it's healthy. It's got like turmeric and quinoa in it, and so you don't have to feel guilty eating it. And I swear, I have literally had just the sip right here in front of you. No more wine other than that. So I'm just excited to be here and chat with you all on the 30-day challenge. Yeah, yo. So let's talk a little bit more about wine, shall we? Because like we're still on the subject, aren't we? And it reminds me a little bit of my late grandma Jay. So I had a grandma E and a grandma J, and it was their last names that determined who they were, and a lot more. But in my mind, my grandma J, she would go camping with us all the time. And she would always wait until it was noon before she would have a Bloody Mary. And when you're camping, it's like, you don't really have to wait until noon. You could have a Bloody Mary like when you wake up if you want, right? Just like I don't really have to wait until 5 o'clock. I could have some wine first thing in the morning. There have been a few times I've done that here on my channel. In fact, I remember having some wine. I can't remember when or why or how, but I had some wine and chocolate first thing in the morning. It was a chocolate for breakfast thing, I believe. And it made total sense to me. So yes, it's just barely 5 o'clock. And I don't know what time it is your time whenever you're watching this, but whatever time it is, don't let it constrain you from whatever pleasures in life are before you. Please do indulge, and please partake all day long. No matter what day, no matter what the indulgence is, have some pleasure in your life and celebrate it. Celebrate it with something you love, someone you love, and tell them about your fantasies. Tell them your dreams, and they will help make them come true. Guaranteed. If you tell someone your dreams, tell them your fantasies, they're going to help you. I know this to be true. So, the only bummer is right now, I'm literally seeing fruit flies in the screen, which is not good because that means they're probably after my wine. So we'll have to have just a couple more steps and put this down before we get to the real subject of this video. And then hopefully there'll be no fruit flies anywhere near the camera. Sorry about that, y'all. So, don't want to fall down there. Let's move forward. What are we talking about today? I thought it'd be really fun today to talk about writing. And because I'm writing my book and I'm writing every day for my clients, and a lot of people ask me, like, Jen, there's such a difference between like writing a fantasy novel and writing copy for a client. And how do you, what the heck? Like, when they hear this, they just think it's just nuts. And the truth is, it's really the same thing. When you are writing copy for your clients, it is basically understanding what your customer's story is, right? And you have to understand their past, and you have to understand their present, and you have to understand their future. So when you have a customer who really loves what you're all about, they love what you're all about because they see you as a partner on their journey, and they want you to come along for the ride. Secondly, if they think that you can help them with their journey, if they think you can help make their fantasies come true, right? Their fantasy is that vision that they have for their life, right? That person that they want to be. If they're buying something from you, then they're buying it from you because you're helping improve their life. You're helping them achieve that fantasy. It's not whatever you're selling, whether you're selling printing services or you're selling coaching services or you're selling a pillow. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, whatever it is you're selling, they have a vision of themselves, and that fits in with the vision of the person they want to become. I mean, this is going to sound really cheesy, but that pillow over there in the corner, which you can see, right? I can tell you can see it. That pillow I bought myself at Anthropologie like 5 years ago. And when I bought that pillow, I was like, this is the pillow. Like, this is the pillow that encapsulates everything about my living room. Like, I felt like it completely tied everything in this room together because it had a slight modern touch, a slight vintage touch. It encapsulated all the colors. I love how it had sort of a quilting aspect to it, which reminded me sort of nostalgic of my grandmother. It had this sort of retro feeling, which reminded me of my childhood, and yet I felt like it also had this air of elegance to it. And I know this is like, I'm going on and on about a pillow, but this is how it is, people. When people buy something from you, it's because they have this vision. They have a vision and it fits into their vision. And so fantasy plays into copywriting as much as it plays into that book that you are reading that you cannot put down because it is so dang good and you can't wait to find out what happens to the character's life, right? Because in a book, that character has a vision for their life too. And they have this longing. They have this longing for their life. And everything that they're doing in that book, everything is going to eventually help them achieve whatever that longing is. So when I bought that pillow, I was one step further to becoming that person that I want to be, to having the room that I want to be in, the house that I want to live in the story that I want to write for myself. And as someone who is providing service to your customers, you can help make their dreams come true. You can do that for them. I think it's pretty incredible that we get to talk to them about the journey that they're on and the dreams that they want to achieve. I mean, there's nothing better to me than to talk to somebody about their dreams and to hear something that's a little crazy and a little nutty. That's the fun in life, right? I mean, why else are we here? We are here to be having fun and to be achieving something greater and bigger and to improve our lives and try new things and do fun things and become something more than we are right now at this very moment. So I think that's why in writing, one of my favorite things to do is to work on character, because I think characters really help make a story so deep and rich and fun and exciting. And when a piece of a character is revealed in a story, it's amazing. It's like this like little secret that you get in on. I think that's one of the things that I really loved about Lost. That's one of my all-time favorite TV shows of all time. I could go back and watch it. I've actually just finished watching it again with my daughter. She watched it for the first time and I watched it for the third. One of the best things about that whole entire series is the characters were so strong in it. And every single episode revealed something new about another character. It told a little secret. It told something about their past. And a lot of times these characters were intertwined. They had a past that was connected that they had no idea about. And they had a future that was connected that they had no idea about. And for me, if a story is full of good characters, it's automatically going to be great, even if sometimes the plot line is kind of going up and down and kind of fledgling. I have to say, because I love it so much, it's also maybe a weakness for me a little bit, because it's been keeping me back a little bit from finishing my book, because I'm just delving into the characters, doing a little research on what would happen with them, what they would be wanting, what their past would be like, what their future is like. And a lot of this is going to be in the book, but a lot of it's not. A lot of it's just you got to know, so that you, when you're writing for that character, you have a rich idea of a deep idea of their past, if you think about it. Because when you understand a character to that extreme level, then it really helps you write, and you know what they would do in any given situation. So if you know a character A and character B, and when those two characters meet, what would happen, because you know them so well, you know their past, and you know their dreams for the future, and you know what's going on with them right now, and what would happen if those two characters met. You would be able to write that because you know so well. So the plot almost drives itself when you understand character really, really, really well. In fact, I just heard a story about J.K. Rowling. When she was writing for Harry Potter, she created this intense map of her characters' lives, like plotted out their past and their future and the world that they lived in and everything. Like, it was all over her walls. And that makes you that much more rich of a writer. And you know exactly what's going to happen when they come face to face with each other, right? It's amazing. It's incredible. And I almost can't imagine a better thing to do as a writer than to understand your characters really, really well. When you're writing a novel or a story or maybe even a poem, like whatever you're writing, I think this is a technique you can use, and that is when you are writing for a character, think which one of my friends is most like this person. Which one of them has some of these similar characters? If I saw them in this situation, what would they do? And so whenever I'm doing a customer avatar for a client, I'm also thinking in my head, who of my friends and my family is most likely to be their customer? Who is it that would kind of emulate this person? And I start there. I start with that. Another technique that works really, really well for me in copywriting that I think can translate really well to writing a book or a story of any kind is to really observe which characters you really love, which ones really speak out to you, and think to yourself, why? Why is it that I really love that character? Like, for example, one of my favorite shows, Lost, I think about what it is about those characters I really love. What is it about them that really draws me in and makes me want to know more? You know, what is it about Quoth in Name of the Wind, or Olivia Pope in Scandal, or Wonder Woman? Like, what are the qualities about that person that I'm really attracted to, and why? A couple of years ago, I was part of a writing group, and we had various speakers come in and talk every month. And one in particular gave us a little workshop on characters. And one of the things that she said, I'll never, never forget. And that was what she said was, imagine your character making toast. How would she make toast, right? And it's such a simple task, right? Making toast. But it was really powerful because I pictured in my head how that person would make toast. And it was so much different than how I would make toast. Every person is going to be doing everyday things in their life differently. You don't have to say this person's impatient. You can say they put the toast in, took it out before it was even done. And I think as much as you want to understand your characters on a deep level, I think there's also something to leaving a little bit to the imagination and letting your reader put their own experience of who they are, because they are going to experience that character differently than another reader. It allows you to let the reader really connect with them. Mystery is a very, very powerful tool in storytelling, right? So it's like this fine balance of revealing enough about their character, but also leaving some left to be revealed so that it becomes really interesting for the reader. They can't wait to find out more, and yet at the same time they are satiated enough to keep reading and want to know more. In copywriting, I think one of the most important reasons why it is so good to understand your character, your main hero, your ideal client, right, is because what it ultimately does to you as the business owner is it gives you this huge amount of empathy for them. And with this huge amount of empathy and compassion for your customer, you can really truly serve them. You can really truly help make a huge difference in their life. It's very true in storytelling as well, because if you are writing a book and you have compassion for them, it's going to come through in the words that you're writing. And I think even when it's like an evil character, it's somebody who's not the hero, right? They're the enemy. If you can have empathy for that character too, then it becomes so much more powerful of a story. I am like seriously out of wine, so I'm gonna have to end this now so I can go refill my glass. But hopefully it gave you a few tips for those of you writers out there or any of you business owners out there. I know this will benefit you because you will be in love with your customers in a whole new way. I'm loving this and I can't wait to share more exciting vids with you. Hopefully you find them exciting. In the meantime, thanks for joining me, and I encourage you to go have some chocolate or wine or whatever it is too. Until tomorrow. Thanks, you guys. Bye.